everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Anthony and Anthony Show. In this episode, we have a very, very special guest. It's our friend John Bush from Armored Saint.
What's happening, guys?
Hey, how's it going, mate?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. We're doing good.
Nice.
Good. Nice and early. I like it.
Yeah. It's kind of early here in Lima too. It's 9 o'clock, but it's okay. It's good for the metal.
Yeah,
that's right.
So John, please tell me about this new video clip that Armored Saint put out like a week ago, right? Lone Wolf.
Correct. It came out let's see, a week ago Tuesday, so it's been out for 10 days, I think. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that. I think so. Yeah, it seems like earlier. It seems earlier.
Yeah, it came out on Tuesday last week, so we're going on about 10 days now. So
songs are awesome, man. By the way, it's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. It's a real it's fun because it's a different vibe, for us. It's there's a lot of dialogue here. Yours truly is in the majority of that dialogue because I'm centered around the storyline, and it was cool to do that because it was challenging. I'm not an actor by any means, although I do love acting, and I'm around actors a lot because my wife, she runs a casting studio that she's had this business for about 20 years, and I spent a lot of time there and working with actors and working there and meeting these people. So I understand all the effort it takes to be an actor. It's very, very parallel to being a musician because it's for one, it's artistic, and two, it's it takes a lot of persistence and perseverance because it's a tough business, especially if you're like a commercial actor. So I really respect those people. So it was fun to give it a shot and do it. And luckily I didn't have to show a lot of range because I probably don't have a lot of range as an actor, but nevertheless, it was fun and the storyline was great. And the director, Robert, he's awesome. And he did the two other videos for us on this album, End of the Attention Span and also Missile of the Gun. He's just extremely talented guy. And the actors that actually played with us as well were really amazing. So it was fun to do it, and they were motivating.
Yeah. Also, the special effects look great as well. Whoever was responsible for that, they did a very good job.
Yeah, I mean, Robert is just incredible. He's this young director. I see lots of big things for him as in the future. I'd like to see him get into directing TV and stuff, and who knows, maybe movies one day. That's just my own personal ambition for him. But he's just really creative, and he's able to do a lot with sometimes not a lot of money. And it's remarkable to be able to do that, accomplish that.
If he's young, that's cool because you were in Hellraiser, so you know what it's like from back in the day.
Yes, I do. And we made videos through the years. I made a bunch when I was in Anthrax. I worked with a guy when I was in Anthrax named Marco Ciego, who actually ended up going and doing a lot of big stuff. He did the Fueled video that I was in with Anthrax. And
that's awesome.
Cool. That was a cool video.
That's awesome.
He went on to do a lot of like TV. He directed a bunch of Dexters, which is a great TV show.
And, no way. I love that show.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah. So
except the last one. I wish they would have kept going.
Yeah, it was about serial killer. Come on. So it's very metal, right? But it's always cool to work with directors. I mean, God, I worked with Mark Cullington. He did the Black Lodge video when I was in Anthrax, and then he did the Jeremy video that was pretty legendary. So I
didn't know that. It's the same guy who did Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it makes sense, I guess. With it does look a little similar.
It does, and the irony is that Jenny Garth was in that video. That was before she became anything in Hollywood. She became a pretty big TV star.
Okay. Was she in 90210? Is that
she was in? What was that? Man, now it escapes me. It was a 90s show.
Melrose Place, was that?
No, it wasn't Melrose Place. It was a comedy with her and another guy, and there was a comedy.
That shows my age, man, because I was around that time too. I'm 40, so I was I used to watch that stuff when I was a kid.
Yeah, well, she's a pretty actress. I think she's a Scientologist, so she's kind of in that world. But but this was before she was anything, so it's funny to look back on that and go, wow. So it's
But yeah, Courtney Cox was in videos as well. Now she's one of the biggest stars ever. It's like,
Who's that?
Courtney Cox. She was in.
Oh yeah. Well, of course, she was in Bruce's video.
Bruce, and then the Counting Crows as well.
Right. So it's cool to see. I mean, videos. I have a love and hate relationship with it, to be honest. I mean, because we're musicians, and you're basically you're lip syncing a song, and it's kind of foreign, to do that really, because
it's very weird to do it too.
Exactly, but it's just it's part of our business. It's been,
you feel like you're singing in front of a mirror or something,
exactly, and you're faking it, but you don't really want to fake it. As a matter of fact, I actually end up having a sore voice a lot of the times after singing on videos, because you can't really hear yourself.
You
probably experience that. Yeah, so because you're just belting it out because you want it to look authentic, but you also are you're not hearing yourself.
That's something I always wanted to know from you. Do you just sing, man? Can you just do it, or do you have I mean, how do you do that? Can you just sing like that? Like, can you do that? I mean, do you just do it? I mean, are you like
for video or just in life?
Are you like Dio could just sing, and he would have like a glass of wine and then go sing like that? Like, are you like that?
I can't really have a glass of wine. I'll have a glass of wine afterward.
Okay. But he would do that apparently. He'd have people said he had a cigarette and a glass of wine before and then go sing like that.
Everybody's DNA is different, and what people are able to do. I've been reading Bob Halford's book, and it's amazing how he used to get pretty ripped before a gig.
Oh, yeah.
And then go out and be Halford. And it's just like, what? I just can't.
He said he would black out and then put it on. How do you do that? How do you black out?
I didn't really realize he drank that much, but according to the book, he drank a lot. And before
crazy.
Yeah, so I can't do that. I mean, I have done that. I did a tour with PANTERA with Anthrax and back in the late 90s, and it was impossible not to drink before.
Yeah, you're forced there to drink. We're forced to drink, I heard, yeah.
But I'm sure I didn't have some of my better singing performances because of it. So, I had fun, but probably didn't sound so good.
Yeah, alcohol's the worst. It dries your voice out. It's the worst thing for you. You can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, but everybody's different. Some people get I heard Mike Patton eats like a big steak, an hour before a gig. And I'm like, how does he do it?
He's gonna vomit. Like, I would vomit immediately.
But like I said, everybody's different. Everybody can. Some people do tea and that crap, and I just try to warm up. For me, it's about warming up. It would be the equivalent to like being an athlete, because you kind of are in a way, and you just kind of need to like stretch, and that would be equivalent to warming up. And to me, when I got to the point now where before a gig, about a half an hour before the show, I'll basically start singing like the first 4 or 5 songs in the set. Okay. So by the time I actually walk on stage, I'm pretty warm. Okay. And I never did that until like a few years ago. And then I started realizing, hey, wait a minute, why am I not going on stage warmed up already? Because sometimes it would be like, you sounded good after like the first 3 songs. Well, now 3 songs.
John, since we're talking singing techniques, I remember watching a very particular thing about your style on the Anthrax DVDs, and of course, tons of videos on YouTube. Do you have some? I'm not trying to be a douche or anything, but I think it's a valid question. But do you have some kind of breathing problems, because you are always doing this when you are gasping for air to sing? So what's about that?
I think it's just a weird body language. It probably has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, this is how he moves. It's a movement.
Just, my weird body language.
I do that too. I look like a fool. I dance like a fool. Like, it looks weird.
Singing is it's a physical thing, so you have to put your whole body into it.
Yeah,
totally. Yeah. And like you said, everybody has different DNA, so that's your thing, let's say. So this is like
I was just going to say, for me, it's just about trying to stay healthy, of course. And my voice is always as raspy as it is, so I can get away with it being a little raspier. Believe it or not, I've said this before, but sometimes singing clean and low is really my struggle points at this point. That's the thing I find most challenging. But I'm 57 years old, so to still be able to belt it out is still pretty
It's incredible. And you do it, man. You you sound the same as you did in 94. It's crazy.
Man, you sound the same. That's amazing.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't sound the same I did in 10 years ago.
Well, your voice always going to get lower as time goes on, and mine certainly has as well. I mean, I don't sound like I did on March of the Saint when I was 21 years old. So I mean, I definitely was like, I listened to that and I sound like, especially the Raising Fear record, I sound like I inhaled helium and then I did my performances. It's weird, but my mid-range voice is really the best place for me.
Yeah, I played my wife your whole discography once when we were having a long drive, and like from Anthrax.
Wow, that was a really long one, man.
Yeah, it was. We were doing a trip, and when we got to March of the Saints, like she just was, just driving, and she goes, "This isn't the same band." I go, "Yeah, it's the same band. What do you mean?" I was like, "No, it is. It's him. That's him. He's just very young, And she was like, "Wow, it's you." So you do change as you get older. I'm like, "Yeah, everyone changes."
You do, and I mean, it's just gonna.
Oh, you had another singer in the band.
Yeah, right. It's his little brother.
He's like, "Oh, someone replaced him before, or he replaced somebody?" I was like, "No, fuck no."
Well, yeah, I like singing still. It's fun. I feel like I'm in a good place with it right now. So, it's caused me a lot of stress through the years because I hate not sounding good and going on stage and I've had many moments like that where I just I've been under the weather. My voice is just not what it was, and it's frustrating. It's not a fun thing to do when you're not there. It'd be like trying to run a marathon with a pulled muscle in your leg. It's just you can't do it.
I understand.
So John, this is Lone Wolf was like the fourth video for Punch in the Sky, right?
It is. We're like some big 80s band. We're pretending like popular like NXS or something.
That's awesome though that you can make 4 videos. I mean, that's awesome.
And all of them look really, really professional, like really well produced. Like Brian's Lego is really putting his money where his mouth is, which is awesome.
Yeah, Brian and Tracy have really basically taken care of us, and they've treated us amazingly during this COVID time because probably we wouldn't have been able to do this, and we would have been touring and playing some shows, but you couldn't, so you made videos, and the videos have been great, and they keep you out there and your name out there, and we're very grateful to them.
Yeah. So is there any more videos in the way?
Well, we just finished all the editing and stuff for the Symbol of Salvation live video that we did when we went on tour to play that record in its entirety. Yeah. So we finished that, and that's going to come out in October, actually. So that's going to be the next video, because I don't think we're going to do any more videos like we did for Lone Wolf. I think that's going to be it for this record, but that's going to be the next thing, and that came out great. We're really happy.
Tell me all the details about that DVD. Is it going to be like a double feature, CD, DVD, bonus tracks?
It's really going to be mostly the show, and it's going to be New York. That's the show that came out the best, that we thought we should, there might be clips here and there, but mostly it's going to be from the New York show at the Gramercy Theater that we did on that tour. Again, it's a really cool performance because that record is like, as much as a lot of Armored Saint fans love that record, to really go out and play it in its entirety really proved how good of a record it really was and how diverse it was. And there's a lot of changes in style, various styles on it, and ups and downs.
When you guys made that record, it was like you took a huge leap. You like jumped into a whole different, it was really different. It was just like, wow.
It's my favorite actually.
Album. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's a record that kind of, it like you said, it took that leap. So it's cool to do it, and it's, like I said, play that tour and do it the songs that, from front to back, and like I said, it shows a lot of the range of that record. So the video looks great. It's in black and white, which gives it kind of a little classy touch to it, I think.
That's nice. That's a cool idea. That's cool.
Well, we kind of had to, because in the end, the lighting of the show at the Gramercy was just kind of a little subpar. So it didn't really.
You did it in New York?
Yeah, we did it in New York at the Gramercy Theater, and no disrespect to the theater, but
it is dark though. I know, I played there. It's dark. Yeah, it is dark.
Go. So it's a little dark, and we were a little bit like, oh no.
And I played there, Pierre, and I saw Morbid Angel there, but that works for a band like Morbid Angel.
Yeah, exactly.
Works like that. you know, and Night Rage, when we played there, it works. We're a dark band, so it works, but not Armored Saint. You have to have some light.
Yeah, totally.
We look at, we're kind of sometimes on a shoestring budget. So when we did that tour, we didn't have an LD, and we told the guy, like, keep it bright. We're filming, keep it bright. And then of course it's like blues and reds, and we're like, wow,
yeah,
it's dark.
So,
but in the end,
he was like, "Oh, I thought you meant keep lights going." Okay,
right.
All right.
Sure. I love doing that.
Like red, green.
Right.
Yeah, you said lights. You wanted lots of them, right?
So I mean, in the end, we said, well, you know what? Let's try like one song in black and white and see how it looks. And it was like, wow, that looks way better, man. So let's just do that.
Yeah.
That's all.
So, Joe, it's gonna be the whole Symbol of Salvation album only, right?
It is, yeah. We recorded other songs that night, but we feel like those songs have kind of been around and surfaced here and there on various ways, previous videos and/or live records. So we kind of just focus on it being simple songs.
Yeah, maybe you can save those for YouTube, or maybe like a bonus track for the next album,
There's
right?
There's going to be some bonus stuff on it as always, but I think the bulk of it is just a show from Rain of Fire to Spineless.
So besides this new live DVD that's coming, is there any other plans for Armored Saint for this year, or maybe 2022 already?
We have a little tour booked on the West Coast with another band. I'm not at liberty to say who it is yet because the shows aren't on sale. And I don't know when they're going to go on sale because they're supposed to be for December. So I would think it would be happening soon. But it's about 5 shows just to end the year. A band much bigger than us, so we're the support act. And it'll be fun. We're going out and playing like 2,000, 2,500 seat venues, and it's a great artist that we respect. So we're excited to do it. You'll hear about it soon enough. I'm sorry to be.
Please put Pay Dirt in the set. Play Pay Dirt.
Okay,
we gotta do it, dude.
We can do that.
That's my other second favorite album. Actually, is Revelation. I love that record.
Revelation's a great record. It's fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll make a mental note of that.
Please. I know it's hard. It's so many songs, but that's one of the best songs you guys ever did in my.
Well, we try to strive to play a song off every record when we go on the road. Of course, sometimes it's not that easy, but we try to aspire to do that. So.
I have another weird question for you. I know this might be weird, but are you still into Bukowski at all? Like, I know that was like an inspiration for Fueled. I just was always curious because you got me into that as a kid. I never really read anything from a guy like this before until I heard you mention his name. So it really
that's funny.
Made me read, and I even got deeper, man. I went and watched videos of him, and it pulled me deep into this.
That's hilarious.
I just wondered if you still was into that kind of literature.
What's funny is that just down the street from my house is a club called the Mint. It's a blues jazz club that's been there since I think I just looked recently, and I think like it was like the 30s or even the 40s maybe.
Wow.
When it opened back in the day. It's right here on Pico, which is a fairly main street right here in Mid City, LA.
Yeah.
And we just weren't there not too long ago when everything opened up again, so we could just go to any, like my wife and I, who's playing, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Literally, it could be somebody like singing bluegrass or whatever.
Right.
We just wanted, and it ended up being this really cool band. We had like 14 people in the band, or kind of like a funk band, and they were great. But when it comes to let's see, what was I talking about? Now I lost my train.
Bukowski.
Bukowski. There's a really big picture of Bukowski on the side of the wall of it, which is awesome. It's really cool. You could probably look it up if you try hard. So I love Bukowski. Some of those books are just classic. And there was a time when I was in Anthrax, and me and Scott were just obsessed with Bukowski and everything he did, and the movies and the books and stuff. So
Hot Water Music, I love that one. Like it's awesome.
Yeah, so it's always inspirational to read about him and read the stories that he's done and get some good laughs, because he was a crazy guy.
Yeah, he was insane. It really I was reading your interviews back then too, and I was like, wow, it was just very inspiring to me back then. So I just wanted to say thank you for that.
Oh
Not a
yeah.
lot of bands were doing that, man. Nobody was doing that shit.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
was trying to be somebody else, and you guys kind of really went a different direction. Like, that was another question I had, was you recorded that record, Stomp 442. You recorded it almost like Guns N' Roses did, like Use Your Illusions. You brought in, like, everybody played something different on a song, or you know what I mean? Like, you had Charlie playing leads on songs, and then you'd bring in Paul and he would do something, and you bring in Dimebag and do something. It was very much like that. And did you do that on purpose? Like, did you guys say we're going to do it like that, or did it just happen like that?
Well, I mean, some of it just kind of happened organically. Like, that was the album that Danny Spitz finally kind of left the band.
Yeah.
And so we were really down to being a 4-piece at that point. Charlie had some lead ideas, and he's such a great player. People don't really even realize how good Charlie is as a guitar player.
Yeah, the American Pompeii solo, like that. I was like, that's not him. I was like, that's sick. Couldn't believe it. Like,
he does really, he's just a real creative guy on that level. And then Paul, helped play some leads that really, there was really no major lead guitar player at that point without Danny in the band. So Paul played some leads, and Paul is extremely talented as well. And it was fun to make that record because we made it in a place called Conshohocken, Pennsylvania. It was basically like outskirts of Philadelphia, and it's when you go there, it's like being in Mayberry, which is
farmland and stuff.
It's really like, whoa, almost culture shock. It was the Butcher Brothers; those guys did it, and they were really talented guys. Did a lot of big records, huge records.
John, Anthrax is finally throwing some light to the Bush era, let's say, with these videos about the 4-year history, right, on YouTube. Even some video clips from We've Come For You All are finally in the official Anthrax channel, which made me really happy the other day, by the way. So how do you feel that the band, maybe the management as well, is embracing finally the Bush era, like in an official way, let's say?
I'm always happy, for them to acknowledge what I did in the band, and appreciate things that I contributed as a singer and songwriter. And I love those records. I think we made some really cool music. Sometimes it's the reality is that Anthrax's fame in the 80s was so fresh and new, and embarking on something that all these other bands were part of, this movement, whether it was the Metallica guys or, Megadeth or Slayer, they were part of that. And so it was fresh, it was new, it was exciting, it was energetic, and it was something that the whole decade was part of. So I always kind of say that when it comes to looking back on those times, you don't really have to compare them to what the band did in the 80s. Of course, everybody does do that. It's just a natural thing. Yeah. But it was a different time in the 90s, and it just so happens that I ended up joining the band during that time, and the sound was changing, and the styles of bands were changing, and
everything was changing. The clothing, the logos, the music.
Exactly. And it was all something to embrace as well, because there were such great bands from the 90s. I mean, we looked at bands like Soundgarden and Faith No More and, Helmet and all these
hell yeah.
That were like, that were just ministry, that were like just part of the 90s, that were like ushering in this new vibe. Yeah, and they were very inspirational to Anthrax and the things that we were looking at.
Pantera as well, too.
Of course, Pantera, for sure. So we were just fired up when we thought about these bands, because they inspired us, and the sound was powerful, and so we were like going, let's be inspired by this movement. And
but you still did it your own way. Like, I mean, who writes a song like 604, dude? Come on. And who wrote that? Is that Scott and Charlie like trying to do SOD style stuff and bring that in, or it was
probably a little bit? Yeah.
I want to know, like, if you wrote it.
I think I read an article in some would think it was like out of like the National Enquirer, and it was talking about this woman who weighed like 600 pounds. Her name was Katrina. And so I was just reading it, like, I don't remember who, and then we were laughing about it. And next thing we know, we just like, let's write a song. And, you know, its song was like 30 seconds long.
It's amazing.
So
that just shows you your genius. You could write a 30-second song just as good as any punk band.
Yeah.
Like,
and
today, man, I think you'd get in trouble for that. It's crazy. It's weird. You'd get in trouble for writing that today.
We probably would, but at the time it was pretty funny and comical. And one of the beautiful things about Anthrax is that they really are, they show a lot of sense of humor.
Yeah,
like that.
Always with stuff like I'm the man, like stuff like that. Like who comes
up the shorts in the late 80s.
Yeah,
you know, people, they don't really get enough credit for that. And you know, sometimes, you know, I mean, metal people are funny because they can be very intense. Like, oh, it's not metal, and it's like,
it's bullshit, man.
They're doing it, so it makes it metal. So I don't know.
Those guys helped invent this stuff. You know what I mean? They invented that stuff. So what are you talking about? If they want to go do something else for a minute, I mean, you have to give some sort of, I don't know, you have to have some humanity and realize that you can't just bash your head every 5 seconds, man.
Well, and I think that's what kind of separates them from a lot of bands is the fact that they were willing to do that, willing to take those chances. And
you guys wrote songs like Bear. People don't realize that. Like, there's songs like that in there, you know, that song's incredible. If you don't cry at that song, there's something, you don't have a soul.
One of my favorites as well, Bear, a really underrated Anthrax Bush era song for sure. It's one of the best ever, by far.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
thank you. Well, it's cool. Yeah, I dig that song. Yeah.
That and the hidden track on Volume 8 that was Frankie singing that song.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that was about his brother. Yeah, that was also very good.
That was very tragic. That was a terrible time right there for Frankie.
But that song used to also get me. I'm like, man, these guys, I can't headbang to them. They're making me cry. It's like everything's going on at once. I'm headbanging, I'm crying, I'm upset. Every emotion I'm laughing. It's 604. Everything is in this. And one of your records everything was there. It was awesome.
And that's really cool to do that. You know, I mean, like I said, it's just not, you know, the standard kind of fare for a metal band to be able to kind of take you on those kind of various roller coaster emotions. So I was really proud of that.
It inspired me a lot, man. I mean, I actually do stuff like that in my own band now. We have songs that are complete ballad sounding songs, and we have songs that are blast beats and extreme vocals.
So
which band, Anthony? You have like 10 bands.
Oh yeah, I know. Meridian Dawn. Meridian Dawn. We do that in Meridian Dawn. That's
Meridian Dawn.
That's why. That's why I do that stuff, is because of you guys and you as a vocalist. So
John,
that shows a lot of flexibility there, dude. That's cool.
Yeah, I try.
Oh yeah, totally. Hey John, a little bird told me that you will be performing with Anthrax in this upcoming live streaming show for the 40th anniversary. Is this true?
I don't know about that. I didn't do anything. No, I didn't do anything with them regarding the 40th anniversary, actually. So,
are you sure?
Knowledge, actually. I don't remember doing anything, but I don't know. I don't remember doing anything. But you know.
Well, I'm asking this because like 2 days ago, your good friend Frankie Bello posted a video on Instagram, and he said, "Well, this show is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be off the hook, blah blah blah. It's gonna last 3 hours." And I was like, "There is no way Joey Belladonna or anything singer could last 3 hours one night. Maybe not even Mike Patton or Dio, or rest in peace, you know." And since in the flyer, you can see pictures of all Anthrax records: Stone 442, Volume 8, We've Come For You All, and Sun and White Noise, of course. I was like, hey, maybe John and also Neil Turbin are gonna sing some songs with the band on this event.
Well, I didn't do anything regarding that, actually. So maybe sometime in the future, we can maybe make something happen. There's always another opportunity.
Well, you need to sing those songs live, man. You need to figure it out, like, because I can't go my whole life without. I fucked up when I was a kid, and I didn't see you guys a couple times because I just said no, I'll see it eventually, and I never got to see you live. So I need to see that somehow, some way. Please do it.
It's some ideas are being explored right now regarding those albums and my voice and doing it in some capacity. So we're just trying to figure out the right scenario to make it happen. But
Awesome.
certainly awesome. It's becoming a very good possibility.
I read with your interviews and you said you'd do it with Paul, and I was like, that's perfect. That's all I need. That's it. That's good. That's it.
Yeah, I love Paul, and we have been talking about some things. So
that's awesome.
Again, it's just whether or not all the situations kind of merge together and make it work. And, you got to kind of deal with all that logistics and stuff. So
of course, I'm sure it's a huge pain in the ass. I know how it is. It'd be a tough thing to do. So
for me, it would be a little bit, only because I'm just really lazy. So all I want to do is kind of do the singing, and I don't want to do all the the nuts and bolts things about putting the band together and getting rehearsals and doing some of the business.
Exactly.
That's the daunting part. If I could just go on stage and because I have to learn the songs again too if I do it.
For sure.
But there's all that stuff that is just a little bit it's a little bit different than just going out and singing. So we'll see.
I think the band should be called Bush Noise.
Bush Noise. That could be really misinterpreted.
I didn't see that one coming, man.
I like that.
Bush Noise. Great. But it's funny, like the Anthrax philosophy, right? So it matches.
Exactly. This is true. This is true. Good point. Very good point there.
You can use it.
The sound of a white bush.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of different possibilities with those songs and the titles of the records of how to do it. So I'm all ears.
Yeah.
We'll figure
out. John, we only have like 5 more minutes for this interview. So please tell me, what's your best memory about the Pantera tour that you did in late 97 and early 98, supporting Volume 8, The Thread is Real?
One particular memory is one that kind of sticks out was I think we were playing, I may get the city incorrect, but I think we were playing Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Pantera had just played, and we supported them obviously, so we were the opening band, and after the show, there's these really big barriers that were separating, where the fans were and then where the backstage area was. It was like a convention center place, but they had these big giant, like I said, barricades up that were probably like 30 feet tall, and they were, they kind of moved back and forth, and then they separated, like I said, the crowd from backstage and stuff. And so at the end of the night, alcohol is a huge factor, as it always was, and I was pretty hammered. And there was a what you might call it, what is it now? It's you picked up a bunch of chairs and you move them, and it was factor.
I know what you're talking about.
I'm drawing a blank on what it's called.
Bleachers?
But, no, it's a vehicle that picks things.
Oh, like a Zamboni? It looked
like a Zamboni, but
golf cart?
Huh?
Like a golf cart?
No, it wasn't a golf cart. It was like something that picks up chairs and moves them.
Like a construction crane or something like that.
Right. Why am I drawing a blank on what it's called?
I don't know what it's called either.
Because
I've seen him use it.
Wow, it'll come to me, but that's weird that I can't remember the name now, but it is what I'm thinking. In any case, I think I was really drunk driving that thing. I decided to get in it and start driving it around backstage. And it was probably really dangerous. And at one point, they're like, where are you going with that? And I almost hit one of the barricades that were like I said, 30 feet tall.
Oh.
And if I would have knocked it over, logically, it probably would have fallen on a bunch of people. I mean, really, in all honesty. And it was a lot of people backstage on the other side of this wall. And, it could have killed some people, it was a lot of people there, and it was this big giant wall that was, like I said, about 30 feet tall. And I would have probably knocked over a couple of them. And so the tour manager was yelling, stop. And then, I did right at the beginning, right at the end, almost hitting this wall. And he was really pissed at me.
No shit, dog.
Screaming at me, and but of course all the guys in the band, it's probably Dimebag and all the Pantera guys in that were laughing because it's something funny to witness, but it really could have been really bad and stupid and dangerous. But to this day, that's a memory that people always bring up, who were there, of course, and associated with it. So,
all right,
it was. I'm glad it didn't end up tragic, because that would have been really bad. But it was funny for sure.
I am too, but that is hilarious, man.
We only have 2 more minutes. Anthony, you had a question about the greater of two evils, right? Really quickly, please.
Oh yeah, just real quick. Did you really record all that live? Like, you didn't?
What's that? Oh, the greater of two evils.
Vocals? Did you record all that live?
Well, I probably did a couple takes here and there, honestly, but I did record it with like a handheld mic, like a 58.
That's what I meant.
I did go just in the studio and belt it out. Like, we did it live as a band, and then I probably did maybe a couple takes on my own. But everything was recorded like in one take. But I might have did a couple takes.
That's incredible. Just have to tell you, that's incredible.
That's a cool record. And this, it is. Like, if you had never heard the original versions of that and you just heard that version of the song, you would think it's pretty cool.
Actually, I like both of them. I think it's great to hear the evolution of that, because I think it is possible to change a singer in a band and make it amazing. I think it's possible.
It's funny. The version of Keep It in the Family came on the other day when I was running, and it just, I have my iPod. I have an iPod still, which I guess is old now. I love my iPod, but it was on random, and then that song just popped up, and I was like, wow, this is it. And I was actually going to text Scott afterward and tell him just how amazing that song is, especially lyrically, just because it was so ahead of its time and dealing with really important issues. And,
now those issues that's what's going on. Like,
exactly.
Totally.
That record came out in 1991, exactly. So
I was 11 when
well, exactly. That's it for today. Thank you so much for your time, John.